So, a while back, NASA did a test of a new kind of engine. It's called an M drive, EM drive. And in theory, presuming the test actually worked, again, it could be falsifiable, we don't know. But from the test they've done, it seems to work. It would allow us to travel through our own solar system faster than we ever have been able to before. So instead of months to get to Mars, it would only take weeks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking sweet. I'd like to be able to go commercial space travel while I'm alive.
Go to Mars and stuff.
Yeah.
See the worlds.
Yeah, like once it's tested though, I want a space cruise, not a space wagon train. I don't want to get space dysentery, you know?
Yeah.
And instead of taking lifetimes and lifetimes for like a satellite, for instance, to get to the next star system, it would only take what was it, maybe 30 years, at least from the perspective of the craft.
Awful.
No, that's not bad. For doing readings and stuff and maybe looking at some exoplanets, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, but the best part, the best part is, right?
What?
Fuck aliens.
No.
You could have sex with aliens if you wanted to.
I don't think so.
I'm not saying you're into it, I'm just saying you could have sex with aliens if you wanted
The
to.
holes wouldn't even lock.
La 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 la.
Here we go.
It's the Bible reloaded, the logic explosion, like Jesus and Moses, but it's Hugo and Jake. The Bible is jaded, and most of it taken, so get educated with Hugo and Jake. Pull up a pew and stop what you're doing, it's Bible reloaded time. They call it debated, the theorists will hate it, like talking to taken, but it's Hugo and Jake. So on with the show then, it's not candy coated, it's the Bible reloaded with Hugo and Jake. With Hugo and Jake.
Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this is the Bible Reloaded.
Again. We did it again. This is episode number 52 of our Atheist Bible study.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for coming. Before we actually start the episode, we talked before about the other channel we are starting, Unpopular Culture, which is going to be us watching movies, playing video games, watching old TV shows, talking about YouTube videos.
Stuff like that.
We're going to have a link right here, and there's no videos up as of yet, but we're going to start putting them up soon, so if you want to subscribe to that now, just so you know when it starts, go ahead and do that, or we're going to talk about it again when it actually starts. But
So subscribe now. We're actually already recording for it, and we're getting some stuff lined up for it, so it should be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a similar format to like the TBR reviews that we've done before, but the other stuff we've never done before, and so you guys should enjoy it. It's been fun so far what we've done, so good times.
We already recorded our first movie review. Hint.
It rhymes with Face Off, and it is also the movie Face Off.
So
So look forward to that, I guess.
Anyway, so last time we were deep into Saul's leadership of the Israelite people because he is the king, as anointed by Samuel, as told by God.
Yeah.
And he's been doing some stuff that God isn't really cool with. See, and some of the Israelites went against commandments and ate food with the blood still in it, which is one of the 10 commandments that aren't in the 10 Commandments that are well known. They're in some of the other 10 Commandments, if that makes sense.
If you watch this show, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So instead of killing them like God wanted them to, he just said, hey, don't do that, let's do it right. Which is a perfectly reasonable thing to do as a leader. But God is against it. So Saul and God are kind of on rocky terrain right now. And now we're going to see how that comes to fruition. In 1 Samuel chapter 15, the Lord rejects Saul as king.
Oh, snap.
Samuel said to Saul, I am the one the Lord sent to anoint you king over his people, Israel. So listen now to the message from the Lord. This is what the Lord Almighty says. I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel, when they waylaid them as they came up from Egypt. Now go, attack the Amalekites and totally destroy all that belongs to them. Do not spare them, put to death men and women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys.
So, this is a commandment from the Lord, by the way.
Yeah, he's saying, basically go genocide this entire group of people and all their animals and every trace that they ever existed, because centuries ago, they did something against your people.
Yeah, so, again, for the debates, 1 Samuel 15, 1 through 3, God orders the murder of babies and or infants.
Yeah. Verse 4. So Saul summoned the men and mustered them at Telaim, 200,000 foot soldiers and 10,000 from Judah. Saul went to the city of Amalek and set an ambush in the ravine.
Ooh, ravine ambushes.
Yeah, those are the best kind. Then he said to the Kenites, Go away, leave the Amalekites, so that I do not destroy you along with them, for you showed kindness to all Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites moved away from the Amalekites.
I don't remember that part. Are the
No,
Kenites
that's
really nice?
That's not anywhere else in the Bible. So God said, go wipe out all the Amalekites, which I assume the Kenites are a subset of.
Well, they're probably a different color of brown, though, so it's pretty reasonable.
But basically, Saul is letting them go because their subset of people did not attack Israel when they went out of Egypt, which is actually the entire reason God is saying to go kill all these people. So Saul reasonably is saying, you're not in this group, technically, so you can go. I'm thinking of the reasoning, not just the order itself.
Yeah.
And, as we'll see, God considers this a big no-no. Don't try and make decisions on your own. You have to do what I say, regardless of the reasoning. Just do it. Like Nike, but with more genocide. Then Saul attacked the Amalekites all the way from Havilah to Shur, near the eastern border of Egypt. He took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and all his people he totally destroyed with the sword. Wow. But Saul and the army spared Agag, and the best of the sheep and the cattle and the fat calves and the lambs, everything that was good. None of the babies were good.
None.
All the babies are dead. These they were unwilling to destroy completely, but everything that was despised and weak they totally destroyed.
What if there was a really, really strong baby? Or like that kid, you know that kid on the internet that's like 6 years old and has like pecs and abs? What if was he spared? Would he have been spared?
Well, he's here, so... Then the word of the Lord came to Samuel. I regret that I have made Saul king, because he has turned away from me and has not carried out my instructions. Samuel was angry, and he cried out to the Lord all that night. So the Lord, again, in the words of the Bible, regrets something which he shouldn't be able to do if he is actually omniscient, which he is claimed to be by many modern Christians. So either the Bible isn't true, or he isn't omniscient. One or the other. And I understand that not all Christians are going to say every word of the Bible is true, but I'm looking at you, people like Ray Comfort.
Yeah. But even if you say, okay, the Bible is all true, that automatically means he's not omniscient. And if he's not omniscient, how can you follow the guidance of a thing that doesn't know all the things when you blindly follow him no matter what he says? Like, for instance, the Binding of Isaac. If he's not omniscient, that's fucking awful.
Yep. Verse 12. Early in the morning Samuel got up and went to meet Saul, but he was told Saul has gone to Carmel. There he has set up a monument in his own honor and has turned and gone on down to Gilgal.
Do you think Carmel is like a strip club?
I'd like to think so. No, Carmel is the name of a stripper at a strip club.
He's gone to Carmel?
Like Candyland is the name of a strip club. Carmel is one of the strippers.
Oh, I see. So he's got to go see about a girl.
Yeah. When Samuel reached him, Saul said, The Lord bless you. I have carried out the Lord's instructions. But Samuel said, What then is this bleating of sheep in my ears? What is this lowing of cattle that I hear?
Oh yeah, ancient smack talk.
Saul answered, The soldiers brought them from the Amalekites. They spared the rest of the sheep and the cattle to sacrifice to the Lord your God, but we totally destroyed the rest.
Like even the babies. Seriously, I had 2 babies simultaneously crying in my hands. I looked into their eyes, they looked back at me sweetly, and then I broke both of their necks.
Enough, Samuel said to Saul. Let me tell you what the Lord said to me last night. Tell me, Saul replied. Samuel said, Although you were once small in your own eyes, did you not become the head of the tribes of Israel? The Lord anointed you king over Israel, and he sent you on a mission, saying, Go and completely destroy these wicked people, the Amalekites. Wage war against them until you have wiped them out. Why did you not obey the Lord? Why did you pounce on the plunder and do evil in the eyes of the Lord? So, comparatively in the eyes of God, wiping out an entire group of people based on their race is more acceptable than wiping out all the people of a race and then taking some of the stuff, because that's greedy, as opposed to genocide, which is totally okay. But I did obey the Lord, Saul said. I went on a mission that the Lord assigned me. I completely destroyed the Amalekites and brought back Agag their king. The soldiers took sheep and cattle from the plunder, the best of what was devoted to God, in order to sacrifice them to the Lord your God at Gilgal. But Samuel replied, Does the Lord delight in the burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord?
Sort of. It's kind of gray, isn't
I
it?
guess. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. For rebellion is like the sin of divination, and arrogance is like the evil of idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected you as king.
Wait a second. If that's true, why was Cain fucking, like, outcast and the pariah of the crew when he just did grain instead of meat? He was still obeying is better. He was obeying, but he wasn't giving the fat of the lamb.
Just fuck it. I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for asking the hard questions.
Yeah.
I'm like Wolf Blitzer.
Sure you are. Verse 24. Like Jack Bauer.
Where is the bomb? Where's the bomb? Where's the bomb? Tell me where the bomb is!
Then Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned. I violated the Lord's commandments and your instructions. I was afraid of the men, so I gave in to them. Now I beg you, forgive my sin and come back with me so that I may worship the Lord. But Samuel said to him, I will not go back with you. You have rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you as king over Israel.
Ooh.
Harsh. As Samuel turned to leave, Saul caught hold of the hem of his robe, and it tore. Samuel said to him, The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today, and has given it to one of your neighbors, to one better than you. He who is the glory of Israel does not lie or change his mind, for he is not a human being, that he should change his mind. So Saul is basically begging, let me be king again, let me be king. And Samuel is like, no, this is God's decision, and God doesn't change his mind. Except
for all the times he changed his mind, like 2 paragraphs ago, where he regretted making you king and is going to unmake you king, effectively changing his mind.
Unless he planned for all this to happen, in which case that's on him, not you.
Yeah, but then he wouldn't have felt regret.
Verse 30. Saul replied, I have sinned, but please honor me before the elders of my people and before Israel. Come back with me so that I may worship the Lord your God. So Samuel went back with Saul, and Saul worshipped the Lord. Then Samuel said, Bring me Agag, king of the Amalekites. Agag came to him in chains, and he thought, surely the bittersweet death is past. Interesting, too, because above chains there's a superscript E, and it says, we don't really know what this word means in ancient Hebrew.
Yeah, we don't know what this phrase means.
So they chose chains, I guess. I don't know why chains, but that's what they chose. So it could have been anything. They brought him in pink pasties over his nipples. Like, we don't know. We don't know what it means. But Samuel said, As your sword has made women childless, so will your mother be childless among women.
Oh, that's a really interesting way to say I'm gonna murder you.
Yeah. And Samuel put Agag to death before the Lord at Gilgal.
But they don't say how.
Sword, presumably.
Just a sword?
Probably.
Samuel seems like a guy that's pretty fucked up, though. He would have done something weird to him.
Maybe. Then Samuel left for Ramah, but Saul went up to his home in Gibeah of Saul. Until the day Samuel died, he did not go to see Saul again, though Samuel mourned for him, and the Lord regretted that he had made Saul king over Israel, again with the regret that he shouldn't feel if he's omniscient. Chapter 16. Samuel anoints David.
Yes, that David.
The Lord said to Samuel, How long will you mourn for Saul, since I have rejected him as king over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and be on your way. I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem. I have chosen one of his sons to be king.
Why would you fill his horn with oil?
That's how they anoint the new king. It's like in a horn thing.
Oh, it sounded like it was giving him supplies to, like, go on a trip. But instead of taking water and like, non-perishables...
It was oil?
He takes anointing oil. Can he get some on the way?
No, it's very special.
Oh.
But Samuel said, How can I go? If Saul hears about it, he will kill me. Why?
What?
I understand why. I understand because then, he'll be supplanted as king. But nothing indicates that Saul is, like,
that
angry
kind of guy,
enough.
Yeah.
He seems more reasonable than most of the other leaders have been.
But maybe going behind his back and doing it will drive him to that.
Maybe. The Lord said, Take a heifer with you and say, I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Invite Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you what to do. You are to anoint for me the one that I indicate. Samuel did what the Lord said. When he arrived at Bethlehem, the Bethlehem from the Bible, the elders of the town trembled when they met him. They asked, Did you come in peace?
Is he an alien?
They trembled because they know that he fucking kills people all the time when God tells him to. He hears voices in his head that tell him to kill people, and he does it.
Why didn't they just take care of Samuel before this book even had to be written?
I don't know.
They just been like, that old guy, yeah, he murders people. kind of a lot. It's excessive, even by our standards.
Samuel replied, "Yes, in peace. I have come to sacrifice to the Lord." So it's not really peace to the thing they're sacrificing, is it?
I suppose not.
"Consecrate yourselves and come to the sacrifice with me." Then he consecrated Jesse and his sons and invited them to the sacrifice. When they arrived, Samuel saw Eliab and thought, "Surely the Lord's anointed stands here before the Lord." But the Lord said to Saul, "Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him." The Lord does not look at things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart.
Aw, the Lord's a softie.
Yeah, remember that. He doesn't
He's
look...
He's like Shallow Hal, but at the end of the movie Shallow Hal.
Just like that. And remember, he says looks don't count.
Yeah.
Then Jesse called Abinadab, and he had put him in front of Samuel, but Samuel said, "The Lord has not chosen this one either," although he didn't say they're looking for a king, so what do they think they're doing?
I don't know. Samuel seems to have a pretty keen eye to who's attractive male and who isn't, so maybe it's like unspoken that Samuel might take, like, you know, a bedmate every once in a while.
Perhaps.
From a tribe.
Jesse then had Shammah pass by, but Samuel said, "Nor has the Lord chosen this one."
Passed by. So this one kind of walked by and like sassily like stuck his ass out. I was like, "Ooh, Samuel, you want some of this?" He's like, "No."
Jesse had 7 of his sons pass before Samuel, but Samuel said to him, "The Lord has not chosen these." So he asked Jesse, "Are these all the sons you have? Because holy fuck, 7's a lot." "There is still the youngest," Jesse answered. "He is tending the sheep." "Could it be the one?"
Probably.
Samuel said, "Send for him. We will not sit down until he arrives."
So we're just standing here?
Yeah.
And then they have an awkward conversation about the weather.
Yeah. So he sent for him and had him brought in. He was glowing with health and had fine appearance and handsome features. But remember,
What?
God doesn't care about those, but we'll mention them anyway because it's important for some reason. Then the Lord said, "Rise and anoint him. This is the one." So Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David. Samuel then went to Ramah.
Did he tell him what he was doing, or he was just like, "Horn oil, David"?
I'd like to think he just did that.
And
like
then-
a coach after the big game.
Yeah, but oil, so it's like slow.
Yeah. Just like, "Oh, I'm not comfortable with this, but you're an elder and this is Israel,
And this
so...
is kind of...
Should I rub it on me? Is this what's happening?" Yeah.
You can't get it out of your clothes, so now forever, this is my good shirt. It's going to have the oil stain on it, and everyone's going to think I'm a slob now.
And this episode we end with David in Saul's service. Now the Spirit of the Lord had departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord tormented him. Now from a literalist point of view, this means that God apparently has evil spirits that he will send to torment people, not demons.
Yeah.
It says specifically, evil spirits from the Lord.
Yeah.
Now Jake has a different interpretation from his
Yeah.
Bible as literature class that is interesting from a historical perspective.
Yeah. Although there's not evidence that Saul ever existed, but it could have been like a kind of a window into the culture of the time. Actually, it moved all the way up into Victorian times when people were maybe depressed or just manic and which is the opposite, but you know what I mean. Any sort of peculiar mental condition, they'd say, "Oh, it's a demon." Well, in this, and if you're familiar with the story of David and Saul for a little bit, David, and we'll read this in just a second, actually has like a lyre that he plays, and it tends to soothe the demon of Saul. And basically, he has depression, and this is a method they use to kind of help people with depression, which is music therapy, which makes a lot of sense, and we use it today. So, maybe the ancient Jews used music therapy. Or maybe he actually was afflicted with demons, and we're wrong.
Maybe. Saul's attendant said to him, "See, an evil spirit from God is tormenting you. Let our Lord command his servants here to search for someone who can play the lyre. He will play when the evil spirits from God comes over you, and you will feel better." So Saul said to his attendants, "Find someone who plays the lyre and bring him to me." One of the servants answered, "I have seen a son of Jesse of Bethlehem who knows how to play the lyre. He is a brave man and a warrior. He speaks well and is a fine-looking man."
Hold on a fucking second. David's not a warrior yet.
Nope.
He's not even close to a warrior.
Part of David and Goliath is that he's not a warrior.
But this has extreme authorship issues now.
Yeah.
Now it sounds like, he will be a warrior later. Maybe we should mention that. It sounds like it's very written and it was a mistake in post.
Then Saul sent messengers to Jesse and said, "Send me your son David, who was with the sheep." So Jesse took a donkey and loaded it with bread, a skin of wine, and a young goat, and sent it with his son David to Saul. David came to Saul and entered his service. Saul liked him very much, and David became one of the armor-bearers. Then Saul sent word to Jesse, saying, "Allow David to remain in my service, for I am pleased with him." Whenever the Spirit of God came on Saul, David would take up his lyre and play. Then relief would come to Saul. He would feel better, and the evil spirit would leave him.
So yeah, David, not only is he not too hard to look at, he's got the music skills, so he's like that guy at the campfire, and he plays Freebird alone.
Yeah.
I'm as free as a bird now.
And this bird you cannot change. Anyway,
we're really good at singing.
so that's the end of this episode.
Yeah.
David is now in the service of Saul, and Saul is unaware of the fact that David is going to usurp him as the leader of Israel.
Right, but get pumped, because next episode, David and Goliath.
And that's a pretty big story.
Woot!
Anyway, so, if you want, you can follow us on Twitter, at Bible Reloaded.
Or you can follow Hugo at Hugo Reloaded. He needs more. He's depressed about it.
Yeah, if you'd like, you can donate to our Patreon. We've started sending those fucking gifts out that go
We
with
had
those.
so many issues with the books. I don't even want to talk about it. And international shipping is a cunt. But
Literally-
we're gonna fucking do it anyways.
Most of the people we had to send Bibles out to, honestly, are from the UK or Canada, and oh my god, international shipping is a... You know how much UPS wanted to ship a Bible each? $100 for each package.
Fuck that.
So we had to find alternate shipping methods.
But we figured it out. It's okay. I'm sorry, but we got it.
Yeah.
That was hell. But I think we figured it out now. It'll happen much smoother.
Yeah.
But we appreciate your patience, by the way. Also, there's 2 people. I'm trying to get a hold of you on Patreon for a long time. You have shirts that I want to send you, but you need to tell me the size you need. So check your fucking Patreon messages so I can send them to you. Otherwise, I'm either going to send you the wrong size or just not send them until you talk to me, because I don't want to give you some shit you don't want.
Yeah.
So
Do that.
do that.
Anyways, again, check out that other channel we're working on Unpopular Culture. There's a link in the bottom.
Boom.
Also, at the beginning of the episode, there's a link in annotations. So, until next time, I'm Hugo,
And I'm Jake.
and this has been The Bible Reloaded.
And next week, I buy Hugo a big screen TV, but instead of playing with a big screen TV, he makes a fort out of the box.